This is going to be the climax as far as the no confidence motion is concerned. The vote is now on. We are minutes away from the outcome of that vote to be declared. Imran Khan has already left the official Prime Minister's residence and has moved to his personal residence. His principal secretary has also resigned. The PTI lawmakers walked out ahead of that vote beginning on the no trust motion against Imran Khan. Remember, all throughout the Imran Khan administration, the PTI, his party, have maintained that this is a foreign conspiracy aimed at toppling his government, which is the reason why this vote that was to happen on the 3rd of April, nearly a week ago, did not happen. So the matter then reached the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court in its verdict had rejected the April 3rd ruling by the Deputy Speaker of the House, calling the ruling and the resultant dissolution of the Assembly is unconstitutional. So the National Assembly then reconvened, and throughout the day we've seen very passionate speeches, accusations, counter-accusations, angry statements being delivered on the floor of the House. As the debate continued, the larger question was, will the vote finally happen today? Last-minute uncertainty continued to prevail. Even minutes before the House reconvened, there was no clarity on whether this vote would finally see the light of the day rather than night, because the window for the vote to happen was before midnight, as per the Supreme Court verdict, and just minutes before the clock struck 12 in Islamabad, that vote, the process for the vote started. The House was then, as per protocol, adjourned, and the voting, after the motion was adopted, the voting has started just a few minutes ago. Those are the latest images that we're getting to you from inside the National Assembly, where the vote on the no confidence motion against Imran Khan is underway. This is a very significant moment for Pakistan, which is not just dealing with this political crisis. The actual root of this turmoil is the economic crisis, as many have called it, the economic mismanagement by Imran Khan. So the bigger question is, even though the outcome of this vote will be given out, the political uncertainty for a while could end, but will the economic crisis end anytime soon? That's something that is the real issue on the ground that's been pinching the people at large. The Imran Khan government has been blamed for putting the country in this position as far as the rising inflation is concerned, as far as the deepening economic crisis is concerned. So that is the bigger question at this point. This continuing political uncertainty meant that the economic crisis was on the back burner. It was not being addressed, and that is the urgent need of the hour as far as the people on the ground are concerned. The foreign conspiracy angle that was spoken about today as well by Shah Mahmood Qureshi, he had once again reiterated that this was a foreign conspiracy to topple the Imran Khan government. Imran Khan all throughout maintaining that the reason why this no confidence motion was brought in was because there has been a foreign conspiracy to try and oust him from power. Shah Mahmood Qureshi, the foreign minister, who very interestingly also changed his bio on Twitter early in the day, calling himself the former foreign minister. On the floor of the House, while addressing the National Assembly, he also said that claimed that the U.S. National Security Advisor had reached out to his Pakistani counterpart before the Imran Khan Russia visit, saying that that visit should not happen. That was, again, to build that narrative around the foreign conspiracy theory that has been pushed by the Imran Khan government as being the reason for this no confidence motion, which is now being voted upon. The opposition, of course, has continuously rejected this theory and has called it one more ploy on part of the Imran Khan administration to try and push the vote on the no confidence motion. The Imran Khan government has tried to get this vote delayed, but as per the Supreme Court verdict, the voting was to begin on the 9th of April, and right before the clock struck 12 is when the process of that voting started. Those are the scenes. We're seeing these lawmakers clicking pictures, smiling, shaking hands. This is the mood inside the National Assembly right before the voting concludes and the outcome of this vote on the no trust motion is declared. Smiling faces of these lawmakers, but that definitely is not the mood within the Imran Khan camp. Imran Khan has already moved to his personal residence. He's moved out of the Prime Minister's residence. His principal secretary has also stepped down. So these are all signs of what lies ahead. Earlier, the opposition also, remember, had said that Imran Khan is afraid of what will transpire, and throughout the day, we've not seen Imran Khan inside the National Assembly. Even when the session reconvened, a series of adjournments that were witnessed in the National Assembly. These lawmakers now have been in that huddle, clicking pictures and congratulating each other, shaking hands as the voting on the no confidence motion continues, and the outcome is to be declared in just a minute from now. Anas Malik has been tracking those developments. Anas, over to you. I believe you have another update for us.
Well, yes, Mariam Aurangzeb has claimed that the vote of no confidence will be having 176 votes in its favor. Now, the People's Party is the People's Party MPs are walking up. I see Nafisa Shah. She is walking in, and there is an announcement. There's an announcement by the speaker. He's asking people to be seated. He's asking people to be seated right now. It's still unclear whether the voting process has been completed or not. But the speaker has just asked fellow member assemblies to be seated on their seats or to take seats. And in a short while from now, we'll be listening from the speaker as well on the process, whether or not it has been completed or not. That's something that we'll get to listen, we'll get to hear in a very, very short while from now. While the voting process continues, as I said, Bilawal Bhutto, I see, is now at the dais. He's getting his vote registered. Had a small chat with Shahzad Fatma over there. Walks into the lobby of the speaker, Maulana Asad Mahmood, the son of Maulana Fazlur Rahman. He has now also registered his vote, and he's walked into the lobby. Raja Parvez Ashraf, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, hailing from the Pakistan People's Party, he is all smiling as we speak, getting his vote registered, and he is now walking towards the lobby. Shehbaz Sharif, there you have it, who is now tipped off to be as the Prime Minister in waiting, the candidate of the joint opposition. He is currently at the dais getting his vote registered. He has gotten his vote registered and now walked towards the lobby, that is towards the left side of speaker, which basically has the eyes of who are in favor of the no confidence motion against the Prime Minister or against the incumbent Prime Minister, that is Imran Khan. Next up, I see a couple of other PMLN leaders, People's Party leaders, and I now see Sardar Akhtar Mengal from the Balochistan National Party, the BNP Mengal. He is now walking up at the dais, getting his vote registered, and he is now walking towards the lobby as I talk to you, Molly.
All right, so that is the mood within the opposition camp as they walk up to register their vote and at the same time click pictures. It is a historic moment, definitely not just for the opposition but for the entire country as the no confidence motion vote gets underway. Over to you, Anas.
Please come back. Yes, I can see now that Khwaja Asif, the former defense minister, he is in the line. The former defense and foreign minister Khwaja Mohammad Asif, he's in the line to get his vote casted and registered and then eventually walk towards the lobby. I also see Khurram Dastagir Khan, the former minister for foreign affairs as well for an interim period. He is also there in the line, and these are pretty historic scenes in Pakistan because never in the history of the country, in the 74-year-old history of the country, we've seen the
All All right, we'll just try and reconnect that line with Anas. But as he was telling us, these are scenes that are unprecedented. In fact, this entire week has been unprecedented with the series of twists and turns that have unfolded in this continuing political drama in Pakistan. Those smiling faces of the opposition leaders, definitely a sight to watch as the no confidence motion vote is currently underway. This is a moment that the opposition has been waiting for the longest time, ever since the no confidence motion was moved by them, post which a series of dramatic turns took place with the Deputy Speaker on the 3rd of April, the day when the vote was to happen, had rejected this motion. Why? Because this was touted as a foreign conspiracy to topple the Imran Khan government. That's something that Imran Khan and his party have been talking about ever since this no confidence motion was brought in. Even today, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who has already changed his Twitter bio to being the former foreign minister of the country, had once again reiterated that this was a foreign conspiracy aimed at ousting Imran Khan. That's something that the opposition has not bought, rejected this as a face-saving strategy on part of Imran Khan. At the same time, the larger ramifications of the way in which the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has handled this entire crisis and handled this entire episode also have been very significant and will continue to play out. Given that several experts who we have been speaking to as well have commented on what this really means for the relationship between Pakistan and the United States. Imran Khan, in his address earlier, remember, had maintained that he will fight till the very last ball. And this is the final over that is now playing out inside the National Assembly as the vote is underway. Anas Malik is back on the phone line with us. Anas, over to you.
Well, as we speak, almost I see standing inside the press gallery, overlooking the proceedings. I see almost the vote of no confidence is completed. About less than 10 member assemblies are now left for the vote of no confidence, and that will mark the end of the voting, because primarily after which for about 2 minutes the bells will ring again. In order for any member assemblies who wants to vote and walk in, they can probably, they still would have the time. More than 100 member parliaments have casted their votes already, and those more than 100 are basically those from the opposition. As I said, these are jubilant scenes all around that I see, and this is unprecedented for two reasons. Never in the history of Pakistan any elected prime minister have ever completed a 5-year term. Imran Khan, of course, holds a unique standing for one very reason. He is the longest serving prime minister in Pakistan's history. That is a credit to him. But the other first for Imran Khan would also be a credit for him, is that he will be the first prime minister in Pakistan's history to be ousted through a vote of no confidence. Never in Pakistan's history have ever any prime minister been ousted through a vote of no confidence. Now, just to wrap up on the developments, the judges who had gotten the Supreme Court opened, including the Chief Justice of Pakistan, just a short while back, we saw him going in while we were speaking, while we were live. He has now gone back to his residence along with other fellow judges. So the vote, so the contempt of court, pardon me on that, the contempt of court proceedings will not take place prima facie. That being said, Imran Khan has now shifted from his residence, official residence, to his personal residence. I see, just to give you an account of what's happening inside, I see Mia Javed Latif going in to cast his vote, getting his vote registered, and then moving towards the lobby, the other side of the lobby. And Ahsan Iqbal, the former Interior Minister and former Minister for Development and Planning, he is now walking, he's now in the line. Javed Latif is speaking at the dais and visibly jubilant, visibly sensing victory. I see Aminul Haq from MQM, who was formerly the government allies as well. Now he is walking in, getting his vote registered. MQM was a key government ally with 7 seats. Those 7 seats, that was quite of a decider for the opposition as well. Shahzain Bukti, just 1 seat from the Jamhuri Watan Party, and now he's walking in for his vote. Ali Wazir, the independent MNA, who's currently under arrest as well. His production orders were issued, and he's flown in from Karachi. He continues to remain under arrest, but despite the fact that he was under arrest, he has now come to cast his vote. Up next is Mohsin Ranja, and I see him. He has now casted his vote, and a couple of other. Hina Rabbani Khair, former Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Hina Rabbani Khair, she is now at the dais to cast her vote. That's how the proceedings are currently ongoing. And as I said, in a very short while from now, very short while from now, you will be seeing the vote to be completed, and then the bells will toll for another 2 minutes, following which the count will be done, and the results will then be announced. Molly?
Right. As Anas is describing to us, these are extremely emotional, historic scenes that are playing out inside the National Assembly. As we've seen these opposition leaders, the lawmakers inside the National Assembly from the opposition camp, smiling, clicking pictures, clicking selfies, shaking hands, congratulating each other, embracing each other. This is a moment that the opposition definitely has been waiting for. After the Imran Khan government tried to get the vote on the no confidence motion delayed time and again, it looked like the vote would not happen even today. Remember, right before the session had reconvened, there was no clarity on whether the vote will see the light of the day, or rather the light of the night. And now that the voting has started, the opposition making the most of the moment. We also saw just a short while back the opposition leader Shehbaz Sharif, who has been called the Prime Minister in waiting, is a candidate of the joint opposition, also registering his vote on the no confidence motion, which was adopted just a short while back, and that voting on the motion is now underway. Imran Khan is not inside the National Assembly, neither are his lawmakers. The PTI lawmakers walked out of the House, as Anas was just telling us, right ahead of that no trust vote. Imran Khan, where is he? He's already moved out of the official Prime Minister's residence. So that is a very crucial sign. He's moved out to his personal residence. The Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister has also tendered his resignation. Only opposition lawmakers present inside the National Assembly as the vote on the no confidence motion gets completed. We are now just minutes away from the outcome of this vote to be declared. Let's also play out for you these latest images that we have just from a short while back, when Imran Khan's convoy left from the official residence of the Prime Minister. Those are historic images, very significant images that we are getting to you of Imran Khan, a very symbolic moving out of the official residence of the Prime Minister, moving to his personal residence. This is a development that we got to you just a short while back. The images now playing out on your screen as Imran Khan moved out of his private official moved out of his official Prime Minister residence to his private residence in a symbolic move. And right when we got to that update a while ago, we also told you how the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister had stepped down. These are very crucial developments. All of this happening right ahead of the no trust vote, which is now underway inside the National Assembly. On the right of your screen, Imran Khan's convoy, Imran Khan leaving from the official residence of the Prime Minister. Remember, if the vote, if the vote would not have happened today, it would have been a contempt of court, and which is the reason why there was a lot of what if questions. There were a lot of what if questions that were doing the rounds on what if this vote does not happen, what happens next. It would be contempt of court, but the vote has now finally taken place inside the National Assembly. The outcome will be made clear in just minutes from now. Only the opposition lawmakers present inside the House. in just a few minutes from now, we will have the speaker who had earlier taken over from the previous speaker after the deputy speaker and the speaker had tendered their resignations. The motion was then adopted. And we are now looking at that vote, which is underway. It's a very significant moment for the country. Anas Malik, over to you. I believe you have another update for us.
Well, the voting has now been completed. And the speaker is now asking for those members, for those visitors in the gallery, those who want to leave, they can leave or they need to sit down. The opposition members or former opposition, however you would want to put it, they're still a part of inside the lobby. Some of them who are moving outside right now. As I talk to you, I can see Murtaza Javed Abbasi. There was hooting, there's sloganeering being done in the assembly. I asked Sadiq, the panel of chairs. He is presiding the session as I talk to you, and he is asking his own partymen. Won't be wrong to say his own partymen to please maintain the decorum of the House. One lone PTI member is literally there even now, and that is the State Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. Molly, as I talk to you, there's an update that voting is now almost done. Voting for the resolution has concluded, has been announced by the Speaker of the House. I asked Sadiq, the voting has been completed. In a very short while from now, we'll be hearing to the results. The Secretary of the Assembly has been ordered to bring in the list. And we're expecting that presumably more than 172 votes have been polled in favor of the no confidence motion.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.